All right, folks, I have 6 o'clock Eastern time, so let's go ahead and get started. You should be able to hear my voice, and you should be able to see my computer screen. It's got a PowerPoint up. If you can hear my voice and can see the screen, if you could let me know in the chat box, please, with a yes or a thumbs up or something, please. All right, great. Well, welcome to EDA 602, Leadership for Human Resources Development in Schools. My name is Dustin Broomball. I'm an adjunct professor here at Georgetown. Obviously, my email address is there on the screen as well. So, what we'll be doing tonight, basically, um, the biggest thing is just familiarity with the course. I want to go over the syllabus. I want to take a good look and get you familiar with our Canvas class site, answer any questions that you have, and things like that. So no life-changing content or anything like that tonight. Just more or less give you a snapshot of what's coming, give you a chance to familiarize yourself and ask any questions. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So again, my name is Dustin Broomball. Just very, very briefly, a little bit about me. I'm a former middle school math teacher. Then I was an elementary school principal for 4 years. And now I'm in my 7th year, my day job, I guess, my 7th year as the Director of Human Resources for Madison County Schools in Richmond, Kentucky. So obviously this course is kind of right up my alley for my day job type stuff. What I'm going to do now then is all I've done is I flipped over to our Canvas class site, and this is the first time I've taught this course. I've kind of used another professor's outline of how they've done things, but also put my personal touch on it a little bit. So for the most part in Canvas, you want to click on Home and kind of go from there at the top. And this may look a little bit different than yours. I think I have all of the course already available for you, I believe. No, I have, it looks like I have, yeah, just the top opening section in weeks 1 and 2 are available, and you're able to view those already. As the course proceeds, weeks 3 on will open up. So first, let's go over the syllabus. Folks, I'm going to own it. There's quite a bit of the syllabus that you as a student may not even care about. A lot of standards and different stuff in there. I'm just going to hit the highlights. But in Canvas here, again, my name, my email address, and my cell phone number. The best way to contact me is to reach out through the Georgetown College email. I have that on my phone. I check it a few times a day. Just kind of depends on what's going on through my normal day job. My cell phone number is on there, but unless it's an emergency, I'd rather you reach me through my Georgetown College email address. Scrolling down, you'll notice under 5 there, Roman numeral 5, there's no textbook required for the course. So everything that's needed will be provided to you through the actual Canvas class site. You do need access to live text. I do know for certain 2 things that'll be done in live text. One, it's a disposition review of each of you. It's in there. You don't need to do anything. Basically, as I get to know you and your work ethic or lack thereof in this course, I'm supposed to give it's not worth a grade or anything, but supposed to review the attributes that you share throughout the course. Do you do things in a timely manner? Do you follow up? Do you have seem to be ethical and different things like that? Shouldn't be an issue, but just know that if you go into live text, you'll see that. I'll complete that on behalf of each of you at the end of the course. The other one is you will need, there are 10 hours required in this course, 10 field experience observation hours. Once you're done with those 10 hours, one, you'll be given a grade for them as part of the course. But two, it's mandatory that you upload those into live text. You cannot and will not pass this course without completing these 10 hours. I'll show you where to show you the form I want you to document those on here in just a few minutes. Again, a bunch of standards, kind of the course outline. The course outline, kind of look in Canvas will be helpful as well. But the big thing I wanted to go to is, here we go. All right, right here, discussion forums. All right, you will have 5 discussion forums, discussion boards, whatever you want to call them. 5 of those worth 5 points each for 25 points total. You'll have a reflective papers. I believe there are 5 of those as well, worth 5 points each for 25 points total. You'll take an HR quiz. I'll show you that here in just a moment. It's kind of one of those of you give a good effort completing it and you'll get awarded 10 points, whether you get them all right or not. I'll go ahead and tell you, unless you have a lot of experience in human resources, the HR quiz is pretty tough. It will require you to spend some time looking some items up and different things like that. Next, the field experience hours, 40 hours. I've intentionally given that to be a lot of points. I'm going to be pretty specific on what some of those things that you need to complete are. And then lastly, the anchor assessment's worth 50 points. And then the whole total class is worth 150 points. We're going to go over everything tonight except for the anchor assessment. We'll meet again in a couple weeks. And the purpose for that meeting will be to kind of cover what have we done already and what have we learned, looking forward, what's to come. And specifically, I'll spend a great deal of time that night talking about the anchor assessment. So tonight, the goal is that for you, you're familiar with the course and the expectations. You'll know pretty much everything that's to come except for the anchor assessment itself. All right, that's pretty much all of it on the syllabus. So I'm going to click home in Canvas and go back. All right, next is going to be still in the top part there, the field experience documentation. I'll click on that. All right, that's just a view of it. If you go to the very top under the heading there, if you were to click on that, you would be able to download that work document. So in this class, there are 10 hours. All that I don't need a lot on the description, but you will need to upload that into Canvas during the last week and into live text, both. But 10 hours in this class doing things that deal with human resources, okay? So things like, are there any interviews? I know we're in the middle of a school year, but any interviews that are taking place this semester? See if you can sit in on that. Help develop the questions and the planning of those interviews beforehand. Actually participating in them and things like that. Doing a couple, if you're interviewing for one job and you interview 2 or 3 people, you could easily get 3 or 4 hours doing that with, if you can get with your principal and let them allow you to help prepare the interview itself, the actual interview that takes place, and any of that type of stuff. That would be a great one. Anything that deals with evaluations of teachers. Maybe your principal will allow you to tag along on an evaluation, or as they go around and do some walkthroughs and provide teachers feedback, would be definitely appropriate. Principal dealing with some of the stuff ends up being confidential, so it's difficult. So as you run into examples that directly deal with human resources, dealing with other employees, are there trainings at the beginning of a year, training staff at a PD day or after school? If you're very involved in that, you can count it. But 10 hours should not be difficult. I don't need a ton. Just tell me the date of the experience. Give me a sentence or two, excuse me, describing what the experience was that you participated in, and then have the main person that you participated in that event with sign off on it. Take that 10 hours. I believe it's under week 8. You'll upload that for your 40 points, and then you'll upload that same document into live text. That's about a fourth of your grade just coming from that. Again, if you have questions or comments, put those in the chat box. Don't mind that at all. All right, so I've covered the syllabus. I've covered the field experience document. So moving down to week 1 tonight. All right, I cannot preface enough. You must complete this confirmation form today. Okay, I know earlier when I looked, 2 of you had completed it. Looks like 3 of you have now. I think there's just 8 of us in the course. So if you have not already, complete that confirmation forum post for day 1. Basically, it is Georgetown College wants each student to take action in the course on the first day to confirm their attendance. So I'm told if you don't take any action, if you don't complete this forum today, that you may very well be administratively dropped, tomorrow or very soon. So again, make sure you do that confirmation post today. I probably will only be on here with you another 10 minutes or so. So when we're done, definitely take the time and do that if you haven't done already. Then jumping into week 2. All right, once we go over week 2 and week 3, you'll see how the rest of them work. So week 2, starting at the heading, you should be, when you're in your own Canvas site, with your username and login, you'll be able to see that. You won't be able to see week 3 yet, because if you notice, week 3 I have set up to unlock on October the 17th. So, about a week ahead of time, the following week opens up. So there won't be any surprises or anything. You can see what's on there already. But so week 2, starting off the week 2 info, click on that. Here it talks about some key things to think about. And then I've given you 2 videos to watch and read the report for the Learning Policy Institute. So you have 2 videos to watch and a document to read. Okay? Under week 2 info, it has 2 videos and a document to read. Then click on the reflective paper for week 2. And look, you'll notice this is not due, it tells below it's worth 5 points, due October the 23rd. That's set up to be by midnight that night. So reflective paper. Write a reflection paper and share your thoughts on the following: the Todd Whitaker podcast, that's one of those videos on there. The report on teacher turnover. Paper should be 12-point type font times New Roman, double space, no more than 2 pages. So what am I looking for there? Provide me a reflection on the 2 things that you had to have listened to and watched or read. It needs to be double spaced, times New Roman, at least 2 pages. I'm sorry, no more than 2 pages, double spaced. Do that. It needs to be good, clean writing, good grammar, good punctuation, and all that type of stuff. You do all that, you very likely will get full credit or very close to it. All right, so that's kind of what the reflective paper talks about. Also, the week 2 discussion forum. First, let's look at the discussion forum expectations. So in here, basically, folks, you need to, based on what the prompt is on the discussion board, by Saturday night at midnight, complete your first post. Then respond by the Tuesday, the fall of that coming Tuesday, to respond to at least 2 of your peers. Okay? I'm looking for, I use 100 words there. I'm looking for at least 1 full paragraph each time you post. Full paragraph. I'm not counting the words. Good clean writing, good punctuation, good grammar, and clearly articulate all that. All the information that's expected of you on the discussion forum. So for week 2, click on the week 2 discussion forum. After watching, listening to the Todd Whitaker podcast, answer the following question. In your opinion, what is it that great teachers really do differently? Give some examples of teachers that have separated themselves from others. What do they do that is considered special, and can we teach people to be great? Okay, so after you've watched that and respond to that post, so definitely give me some description on why you support your answer, I guess is what I'm getting at. So do that, Read 2 of your peers' response, respond to theirs with a good solid paragraph. You're allowed to agree with them. You're allowed to disagree with them. I just ask that we be civil and that be professional in all of our interactions on here. Other than that, everything will be fine. So that's kind of, so week 1, you don't really have anything except for this confirmation form. I'd encourage you to go ahead and get a jump start on week 2. Week 3, you have some week 3 info. So it'll have some videos or some things to read. Have a reflective paper. You'll have a discussion board, just like week 2. The only thing on top of all that is you have an HR quiz. Okay, so the HR quiz here, as I mentioned a moment ago, I just need you to go through each of these questions, all right? Read them, answer them, support your answers on, here's the answer because of such and such law and things like that, all right? You completing it and showing me that you spent some time and articulated your answers, I'm not expecting paragraphs, I'm expecting a sentence or 2, but you going through the process, you're going to earn full credit because you'll see some of these are tricky. It's difficult. I'll let you see the answer key when we're all done, but go through that the best that you can, and I'll give you full credit for it for just completing it. But now that we went through weeks 2 and week 3, everything else after that is you'll see the routine. Week 4, you'll have some info of some videos or articles to read, a reflective paper, discussion board. Week 5, info of videos or articles, reflective paper, discussion board. Week 6 is the same way. Week 7, folks, I'm not giving you a ton to do on week 7. There'll be a little bit, but there won't be a ton. If you look at the dates there, that's Thanksgiving break week. I'm intentionally not bombarding you with some things because I definitely want you to spend some time with your families, but also this class is meant for the practicing professional, people that are working full-time jobs. So my hope is, though, is that you'll be working on some of your time off over week 7 over the Thanksgiving break, that you'll be tying up any loose ends on your anchor assessment and stuff like that. That's due week 8. Okay, so remember, probably week 3 or week 4, somewhere in here, I'm going to add another short class meeting. That'll give you everybody the opportunity to ask questions, make comments. And I'm going to spend a great deal of time talking about the anchor assessment and a great deal of time discussing anything that, maybe that hasn't gone well so far in the course. Maybe they're not, meeting the needs, the expectations on reflective papers or something like that. So, I think that about covers it. I'm recording this meeting, so probably sometime tomorrow, where you access the meeting somewhere up here, it'll go away and a video of this recording will be up there. That way you can access it later on. What questions does everybody have? I'm going to hush for just a short bit here and let everybody ask any questions they might have. Questions or comments? Okay, well, maybe I was just that clear on it. Does everything seem to be pretty straightforward for everyone? Can I get an answer on that one, please? Everything's pretty straightforward. Do you feel like is all right? Good, James. It's pretty clear to me. James says, okay, good, and that's the intent. Not trying to bombard you with unnecessary busy work and things like that. I'm just trying to be crystal clear on that. Thank you, Allison. No question. I liked how clear the expectations reflect the papers. I will be going to my district data retreat meeting. Could that count as field hours? Yes. Okay, so if there are anything in your district, so you might, if I'm you, I go to your principal tomorrow, or maybe you're on fall break, early next week, very soon, and kind of sit down with your principal and say, are there anything this semester that I could tag along to that's going to have human resource type things or other principal type things involved in it? a district leadership meeting where maybe the principals get together, the district leaders all get together, doing things like, a data retreat, things like that. The goal is, would I like it to really be tied to human resources? Of course. But some of the things that are a little bit more loosely tied to human resources and more principle centered would be equally as fine. The goal is that you get some different, a different variety of experiences. That way, one day when you are a principal, you're able to draw on some of those experiences. I was fortunate enough before I was a principal to get to participate in a few things that it let me in, kind of let me see behind the curtain on how a few things went. That way it was not as intimidating for me when I was a principal and had to do it on my own. So front load some of these things and do that. So, all right, folks. So again, I can't preface enough. If you have questions, all right, I'm an email away. If I need to set up a phone call, if I need to set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting, I'm definitely willing to. Just let me know, shoot me an email. And then lastly, I'll leave everyone with, if you have not completed your confirmation form for the first day, each one of you need to, or I'm told you will be administratively dropped. I don't want that. So make sure you do that. Otherwise, folks, I'm looking forward to working with each of you. We will meet. We do not meet weekly. We'll probably meet at least one more time in a few weeks. But that may, depending on everybody's take on it, that may be the only other time we meet. We'll kind of evaluate the situation then. So, folks, I look forward to working with each one of you. I'm going to stay behind if anybody has any other questions. Otherwise, have a great evening and looking forward to working with you. Thank you.